I am not assertive enough. This is a series. I am starting a little series this month because as I was working with my coach, actually, we hopped on a call today and I was talking to her about things that I wanted to help you with in your life. And something that really came up is yes, like people call me the boundaries queen. I am incredible at helping you set boundaries and understand where in your life you need them. But I also want to speak to the other side of this because I don't see many people doing it. They are not speaking to how the lack of boundaries is showing up in your life and what that looks like and where it comes from. And so I want to be able to speak to that today in the sense of a lot of times we say, like, I'm not assertive enough, or, oh, I could never do that. And this comes from childhood. Now, if you are like me, I feel like a lot of us were kind of raised, and I say this a lot, but like in the era of like, quit your damn bawling, be a big girl, suck it up, I'll give you a reason to cry, kind of any of these things, right? But a lot of us were raised in really chaotic homes with parents who were completely emotionally dysregulated. They did not know how to regulate their own emotions. And so we, as children, were kind of trying to navigate and regulate their emotions for them, basically. And so this is where you may have learned, like, be a good girl. And if you spoke up or shared your opinion about anything, you were probably told to quit talking back. And what you were really doing was just sharing your opinion. Now, yes, there's a line that gets crossed, especially as I look at my own kids, because we allow our kids to express their opinions, to be able to show their full range of emotions, which is not always enjoyable. And then trying to navigate how to help them do that in a healthy way while we as parents, and especially myself as a mom, am trying to learn to do it in a healthy way for myself. And so I have done a lot of work around this for myself over the past 2 years, because as a lot of us learn in childhood is we learn to be the good girl. And when you think about how this creeps in and the things that we learned is when you are raised in a home where maybe you have a narcissistic parent, maybe you don't, maybe you just have completely emotionally dysregulated parents, and you learned to be the good girl. This shows up in, I don't dare speak up. I don't dare go against the status quo. You kind of become a sheep in a sense, in that you don't want to ruffle anyone's feathers. You just want to be the good girl so everybody stays happy. And then nobody can like point the finger at you and be like, you did wrong, you are bad, or anything like that. And so when we learn this in childhood and we learn that we need to be the good girl and we need to just go along with what everybody else is doing and just stay happy and keep everybody else happy, well, that helped you stay safe then, but it doesn't help you stay safe in adulthood, right? It's really actually not in service to you as an adult. And so you might find yourself like kind of going along with things that you actually don't want to do, but you just do it anyways because then nobody's mad at you or upset with you. And also you you just don't speak up, right? And maybe you've had this fear of like, I don't want to be a bitch. This was a huge, huge fear of mine until maybe 6 months ago. I was finally able to kind of release it because there's something that's different is like either being assertive or now how I look at being a bitch. Like, I want you to define your own definition of this too. But like, how do you define being a bitch? Do you define it as, this is how I defined it for myself, was somebody who does things to intentionally hurt others or to just like be a pain in the ass just because they can. And well, I wasn't those things. There were just things that I didn't want to do. And so I want you to kind of define that for yourself if that's a fear of yours. And I'm guessing that maybe there's like a little bit of that in there. And understanding that you don't have to be the good girl anymore because maybe you are doing everything for everyone else and you're getting resentful toward other people because you're just tired. you're just tired of going along and feeling like nobody ever listens to me. I don't want to do this, but I don't know how to speak up because I don't want anybody mad at me. And you're having all of these like symptoms, for lack of a better word, right? You're experiencing all of these emotions and all of these thoughts that are coming up, but you don't know what to do with them. And the thing is, you get to be assertive. And being assertive does not mean that you are being a bitch. And so I want you to first define what a bitch is to you. And then, two, I want you to just really sit down and look at what are some things in your life that you're doing that no longer feel good? What are some things, maybe even in your friend group, that you are just going along with that you really don't want to do anymore? And maybe let's look at your own life and in your own home too. Where could you assert yourself just a little bit more to get the help and support that you so deeply desire? And in your business, being assertive to clients, right? A lot of times we find ourselves letting clients walk all over us. And a lot of times we choose not to be assertive because it all comes down to like having boundaries. You don't have any boundaries. And let's look at this for as an example, like in a business. You have a business and your clients are walking all over you and you're just like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll do that. Oh yes, of course I'll do that. And yes, of course I'll do this. And yes, I'll do this." And really you're like doing these things. So let's just say a little additional editing. I used to like liquefy people. They would ask me if I would like liquefy parts of them, if I could tuck their stomach in a little bit more, if I could do this, if I could do that. And I was doing it all for free and I'd be like, "Yeah, sure." Because I was so afraid of just being like, I am so happy to do that, but it's going to cost X amount of dollars per photo to do this. And so I just was letting people walk all over me instead of asserting myself and being like, no, my time is actually valuable. And if you do want this additional service, it's going to cost X. I was afraid that they would perceive me in a bad light, that I was like price gouging or like whatever it was, even if it was just a small fee. It was like I didn't want to be that nickel and dimer, whatever you want to call that, right? And so I just want you to think about like where in your life, where in your business have you allowed this belief of I am not assertive? Because now when we learn these behaviors in childhood, we kind of pick up this identity piece of I'm not assertive, right? What it really is that you were in childhood is you were taught to be a good girl. And so the belief behind that is like, as you get older, instead of recognizing that it actually came from your childhood and that was like how you survived. And remember, whether it serves us or not, anything to the brain that is familiar is safe. And so that's why it's really scary when we start to change patterns of behavior simply because it's unfamiliar. So as a child, we're like, oh, we just got to be good. We just need to be good. We don't gotta like not ruffle any feathers. We just gotta be our good girl selves and then we'll be fine. And then as we get older, we start to identify as a person who is not assertive. I'm just not assertive. I'm afraid of being a bitch. I I just I don't dare speak up, right? And we continue to play small. And so we have to shift this identity piece here and we have to teach the brain some safety around that. And so you can start by baby stepping that in and doing this in small ways. Maybe it's with a client first if you run a business. Maybe it's okay if somebody else asks me to like liquefy them, it's an additional $2.50 an image or $5 an image or like whatever. Or head swaps, I charge $10 an image. Like whatever it is for you, you just start to assert yourself in one area. For me, it was really easy to go outside of my home first and kind of navigate what that looked like and then bring it into the home. So maybe just deciding an area of your life that you want to be more assertive. Maybe it's even deciding where you want to go eat with friends and they want to go one place or a couple people want to go one place, but there's like this restaurant you've been dying to try. Maybe it's just like speaking up for once. And whether they pick it or not, allowing yourself to remain detached from that outcome and knowing that if they don't pick it, it has nothing to do with you. But allowing yourself to feel really good that like you were able to assert yourself and be like, hey, I want to try this. What are your thoughts? And maybe it's not this time, maybe it's next time, right? Like we don't set the expectation that it's going to happen immediately, but we're testing the waters. So just telling yourself, I am learning to assert myself more. And let's start to shift that limiting belief of I am not assertive. Okay. And I do want to let you know that is all I have for you today. But I do want to let you know that I do a monthly group coaching call. It's a monthly group clarity call. And this is where you can come in, you can get coached, you can watch other people get coached on an area of your life. Right now, doors are just open. Pretty soon, as more people come in, I'm going to switch it over to like an application. So I just want you to know that that is coming down the line. But for right now, I will drop the link in the show notes below so that you can get registered for the next call when it is happening, and you will get the email reminders leading up to that, and you can come hop on. So if there's an area of your life that you are feeling maybe a little confused, maybe a little unclear, that you're like, okay, I would like to get a little more clarity around this, and I would like to really start to understand how I can put this in play in my life, come to the call. I'm going to start to teach you how to do these things, and we will teach you how to start being more assertive in your life so that you start to create a life that you are the authority of. And I will talk to you next time.